that they're facing, and they are streamed, as you mentioned, quite often, which puts them easily at a disadvantage. But we are right into the action, and we've got Leo of SpaceStation Gaming kicking it off, coming in with the Queen Charge Ice Lalo.
Yeah, with that one Ice Hound, he's going to use that to help try to freeze up an Inferno Tower, because maybe he wants to invest the freezes for the Queen Charge portion. Go ahead and take a look at this Queen. Is he going to be charging her in towards the Town Hall? Because that single target Inferno is standing right behind it. It's going to be a huge pain to deal with the single and the clan castle. And typically, when you have a clan castle next to a single like that, you tend to always see lava hounds inside of the CC, which can slow up a Queen and have to lock onto it and really completely mess up an attack. But let's see if that's what he decides to do here in this hit.
Yeah, this is a beautiful position that she's coming in from, taking on those heavy-hitting damage items first. We do have to worry about that single, of course, as well, but we've got the freezes to help hold this off if she gets into harm's way. We see a lot of these very long, intense pushes to wrap around the Queen because we want to keep the Queen out of that position, but also equally, as you mentioned, taking on the different damage coming in equally, and that Queen needs those healers raged up to keep her alive. They're just on the cusp, but not quite in. But the King is set and in place to help force her along the path that she needs to go.
Absolutely looking beautiful for this Queen Charge so far, but taking time. Let's take a look at the clock at 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the raid, pulling the tornado trap with his King. The beautiful thing part of this raid was he kept the Queen away from that single target Inferno while he took out that Lava Hound. Now we're going to have to invest that freeze, and there it goes. Freezes up that single, continues this Queen Charge, and this King getting slowed down tremendously by the Tesla farm, but the Royal Champion should be able to help take it out, and the Lalo's going in to the right side into the Eagle Artillery.
This is a really widespread for a Lalo, so sends in the Stone Slammer to help cut the pass here, force it along. We still have the multi to actually worry about in the core of the base. This is a damage zone that we often worry about seeing the majority of the traps in, and it's defended by the Royal Champion here. This doesn't have a lot of power left because we see the loons thinning out Carbon. This is taking a pretty nasty push away with the Air Sweeper still carrying on.
Yeah, that Air Sweeper did so much damage. All these balloons have pretty much disappeared. We do have the Royal Champion, actually the defending Royal Champion, that's going to turn around and take out that Grand Warden. And the Headhunter comes in late to try to slow down this Royal Champion. Giant Bomb is there. She's going down because it's just a multi-target Inferno in the core. And at this point, it's looking like time will be the factor. Granted, the Queen doesn't have too much health either way, so she might end up actually getting taken out if she got close to that multi because of the walls. But Leo, this is the first attack of the war, and it's going to be a defensive 2-star. And that is all that can make the difference. 98% for Leo of SpaceStation. What a great effort, but Stadra is going to hold.
Yeah, so at 98%, I mean, when we look at this as a whole, if you're not going to triple, that's about where you want to set the standard in this mix, because it puts a lot of pressure onto the other team for any small slip-ups. This could come back to their favor if they're bringing the right defenses, but if we see, like we were talking about, the perfection that we often see from some of these teams, that is what is going to do them in, but not the easiest base to go about, especially leaving that multi in the core with an Air Sweeper continuing to push everything around. I honestly was surprised to see the position of the Stone Slammer coming from the outside edge rather than trying to absorb the traps on the inside.
Yeah, the big thing was I was saying he was able to take out the Town Hall with his Queen, but that Tesla farm that popped up was a big pain. But now Stadra's it next, and starting off with the Super Dragons. You tend to see a Super Dragon attack come in early in a raid, in a war like this, because these players only have about 8 minutes to plan their very first attack, since the war starts at about typically for a competitive war like this at the 45 minutes. Yes, that means there's not too much time to go, and so they have to think quickly on the fly of what attack they're going to do. But the Super Dragons are going to path their way straight into the core of the space by the multi-target Inferno, and a few Super Dragons move off to the Town Hall.
Yeah, this is something that Stadra is known for. It's something that I don't recommend most players go into, sending your super drags right into the town hall. But this is his style. What it does mean is that it relies on your heroes to have the extra health and support on the back end while you still have enough power to cut through the core of the base. So your heroes need to be there nice and strong with very limited damage on the back end. Obviously, we still have the scatter shot up. We've got the multi, which isn't the biggest issue, but with the scatter shot down now, knowing the king has his ability, the queen has hers, and we've got the royal champion. This is what Stadra knows and does well and sees these weaknesses.
And look at all the hero abilities still to use. Finds a tornado trap, but not going to matter. Pops the RC ability. Down that goes. A few super dragons still in the mix. King's ability goes off. There's the free spell. And Stadra making it look easy. How to use these super dragons. Absolutely crushing Leo's base. And a beautiful way to start it off for Queen Walker Stephanie.
Yeah, and you talked about the approach of, only 8 minutes to really plan these attacks. And this puts a team like Queen Walker Stephanie at a huge advantage with this particular style attack, which doesn't take a lot of time to really plan and set up and gets them in that nice, easy frontline position. It's a good strategy at the way that they're using the lineup of their players, the order that they're putting them in order to get the rest of their plan set to go. So I think a very, very smart move from them.
Yeah, we tend to see Queen Walker Stephanie typically stick with the same lineup of attackers. We always know that Yuta is always going to be the final attacker. I don't think ever talked about it in the World Championship. Not once, even including last year, has he ever attacked other than fifth. He's always come in as the closer for the war. And we interviewed him during the World Championship and asked him about that in terms of why do you always go last? And his response was he loves to close out. He likes the pressure because that's what it is. The pressure is there. There's not that much pressure in terms of coming in first because you feel like if you do fail, you can try to help make up for it later in the raid. But if you fail in the last attack and that costs you the war, that's what people remember. So he is always up for the challenge, which shows how good he is. But SpaceStation is going to have to answer with their own 3 stars to keep pace in this war.
They certainly are. And, to speak to Yuta, I think that's just such a commendable position to be in as the team leader, the team captain, having to take on that pressure for the rest of the team and take the weight on his shoulders when it does matter. But more times than not, we often see him finishing off the job successfully for his team. But as you mentioned, SpaceStation Gaming needs to try and find some ways to get back in this. A 98% 2-star isn't enough to necessarily hold them back if they can find the right defenses, but they do need to follow this up with a strong 3-star. And we'll have to wait and see. We often, I feel more times than not, are seeing a little bit of a switch up in their lineup, though Picastro tends to be the final hitter for them.
Yeah, Bernal coming in with the next attack, and this time bringing a ground attack, the Queen Charge Hybrid. We know that Bernal loves to do Queen Charges. Usually it's like Queen Charge Lalo. So he's switching up and bringing the ground in this one. And those Headhunters are doing a massive amount of damage to that Queen. And he's forced to drop that free spell to try to keep her alive. There's the Rage. Come on. Oh, no, the Queen's ability has been forced.
Oof. This is going to make it very difficult. These Queen abilities, when you're coming in with almost any charge, is meant to come in deeper inside the base as you get to the brunt of the defensive force, getting past the town hall in particular. So this means the life of the Queen is going to be highly limited coming through this. And when you come in with hybrids, your Queen is almost everything to ensure that you have the cleanup power coming through to the back end of the base. So we'll have to wait and see how he can re-navigate this, what he can do to try and compensate and adjust. But this might not be the 3-star that they were hoping for. I think if anyone could try and pull it back around, though, it would be Bernal.
Yeah, with that Queen continuing her way through to the left side, dropping the balloon to try to pull Seeking Airlines and protect these healers through this area. With that single target Inferno just waiting behind the Town Hall, he has a 1 freeze and invisibility to keep that Queen alive. And here comes the hybrid, typically with that King and Siege Barracks off to one side and force that hybrid of the miners and the hog riders right in between to go through the core of the base. There's the heal. And he's finding a few spring traps, but the Eagle Artillery is locked onto it. Looks like the Royal Champion of this attack.
It's these multis that I'm most concerned about coming through, but Pops that Warden ability to try and spare those miners straight through the core of the base. They take the pass. He's got one more heal to drop down. That's a perfect spot. Freezes up the multi, but coming into that scatter shot position is the opportune time. And he drops it, sparing all of those miners straight through as the Royal Champion Hogs round the corner through the Eagle to take on the adjoining compartment here.
This is looking pretty good here as the miners did clear the core. The Queen is beating through the wall, does not have her ability as it used there early. But now with the Royal Champion, he's run out of miners through the defenses. Her ability's been forced, hits the bomb tower. And now it's a matter of the Warden joining in with the Queen to try to keep her alive. But he's only got 25 seconds left in the raid.
Ooh, time is not on Bernal's side, and the Queen knocks out, is down for the count.
Wow.
And this means the Warden does not have enough time nor enough power to get the job done. As good as that was looking, it fizzled down so fast. And this is where you really can see having that Queen ability would have been the extra difference maker in the 92% to the 3 stars. So Queen Walker's coming in with some very strong defenses today against SpaceStation Gaming.
Yeah, that is surprising. Their space station falling short in both their attacks. But remember, this is a double elimination. So if you lose, you're still in this as we are in the upper bracket semifinals right now. So this is where upper bracket in terms of you lose, you go down. In terms, the next opponent would be VN Tompanai. And then also down in the lower bracket would be War and Glory. So they're waiting for their opponents. But you don't want to go to the lower bracket. You want to make it to the upper bracket and continue your way through. And Queen Walker Stephanie are looking really good if they put a 3-star on the board to do just that.
They certainly are. And going into that lower bracket, you've got VN Tompanai to face off against. So yeah, definitely not going to be an easy challenge going down there either way. But let's see what Gaku has in store, and most importantly, what SpaceStation have in store defensively here, if they can hold them back. Now we've got the Queen Charge Drag Rider, but we've got the Wall Wrecker to start opening up the pass. Queen's coming in, working her way through from that long edge of the base. Now, more times than not, we actually see the the log launcher actually opening up the course coming through, but this is a little bit different of a split that we have coming in as the Wall Wrecker is opening up across for the King and Royal Champion, with the King taking a beeline outside the space. Let's see if we have some Yetis to take on the defenses inside the core.
Yeah, that Wall Wrecker takes out that multi-target Inferno right there in the middle. It's continuing its way through, pulling out that CC of the Super Minis. There's the Rage of a Rocket Loon and Yetis to try to help now jump over the wall and take out that Quora multi-target Inferno. And what an incredible value. You don't see the Wall Wrecker being used all that much nowadays, but it did receive that little bit of a buff, and he used it beautifully here. Gaku, what an incredible start. And this attack is looking fantastic.
It really is. We've got the opening in the Queen for that wall leading to the Town Hall, and the extra super wall breaker to get the pass into the Town Hall compartment itself. So he's already lined up what the Queen needs to move in, take this on, and these 5 drag riders can work easily from the northern side of the base. From 12 o'clock, get into that scatter shot compartment with a Warden ability to help sail them safely through.
Yeah, there's the Warden internal tome going off. We got the Headhunter actually got sprung, but one of them is still working onto the Queen as the Dragon Rider's coming around. There's another freeze onto the single as the Queen is pathing her way to the Town Hall. Still has her ability, an invisibility spell no matter what, and this is looking fantastic here for Gaku. With the Sneaky Goblin off to the right, Queen's ability secures the Town Hall, and now it's a matter of cleaning up the rest of these defenses.
This is absolutely stunning coming in from Gaku. Never ceases to amaze us with what he comes in with. But look at the power and strength with all of the drag riders left over here. Queen's still carrying strong through to help with the back end defenses, despite all the traps on the backside of the space. It aids stopping this one up. And we've even got a little swag to boot with that invisibility spell. Kudos to Gaku. You can see the smile on his face, taking a sip to celebrate. And Queen Walker's still hanging in. Insanely strong, Carbon.
It was a beautiful attack. That wall wrecker going all the way into the middle to take out 2 Inferno Towers, both of those multis. And we don't see the wall wrecker being used and all that much, but it was used in terms of by itself. So it could go all the way through the middle, get that value, and create a perfect path for the Dragon Riders to the top side. And that is the strength of Queen Walker Stephanie coming in with back-to-back triples. And if you can't put up triples like that in this war, it's just going to get out of reach so quickly. And that's why we talk about it. You have to be putting up 14, have to be putting up perfect wars to be winning these wars. That's why one mistake can cost you even a 99. Even though it's so good, many players would be seeing it like, yes, I got a 99% 2-star. At this stage, that is a disappointment, and you can't afford that. But now SpaceStation must pull away with all 3 stars to have a chance and hopefully have some defenses. And Marnal is looking to do just that.
Yeah, the way Queen Walker's is going, I mean, they just seem unstoppable. But Marinol, the beast himself, coming in. We've got the Inferno Drag Rider. I feel like we're starting to see a little bit more of this coming into fruition in the past few weeks. Nice speedy attack, which when you have some wars that come down to time, this could be a big difference maker, and it still offers a lot of power. But starting to section this off nicely, taking down the Town Hall early is always a nice option because you're eliminating that pass-through for the Poison Bomb and helping to set up the navigation, of course, for your Inferno Drags and Drag Riders to move in place.
Yeah, with the Inferno Dragons coming straight on in and using a bunch of skeleton spells to provide a distraction so that his heroes do not get locked onto the defenses. But that one Expo did decide to say, hey, I'm locking onto that king, and slowly trying to take him out with the Warden ability going off to help protect as many of these Inferno Dragons as possible. Straight into the core by the multi, the single, the Eagle Artillery, and trying to use some more skeletons to provide distraction as he pushes his way through into the core.
Yeah, a bit of a struggle with that air sweeper, pushing everything back into that multi, but freezing up the multi nonetheless, trying to get through, get it taken down. That air sweeper absolutely unrelenting in letting these Inferno Drags through, and that could be a problem. But we still have the Royal Champ who can actually cut in, work on what's missed out. We do drop the invisibility spell, but a bit wasted on this one, unfortunately.
Wow, that Warden decided to stop hitting that multi-target Inferno, and everything in the core went down, and Gaku's base is looking to also hold. And what an impressive defensive performance here from Queen Walker Stephanie, not allowing a 3-star in the first 3 attacks of SpaceStation. That's an incredible feat right there. And it is double elimination, so SpaceStation still have a second chance. But they're going to be fighting in the lower bracket at this point unless something crazy happens in this war, because it is going to be 6-6 at the moment. But Queen Walker Stephanie have one less attack used.
They do. Queen Walker's is definitely in a solid position here, and I think it's very difficult to see an outcome unless maybe like Klaus were asleep. I think that happened once, perhaps.
Oh my! I don't think that's gonna happen here.
I don't think that's going to happen here either, not with a prize pool on the line. But, you know, the way we can always look at it is that lower bracket always gives teams more opportunity to shine and get some gameplay in. And I feel like some teams actually like to do that.
Yeah, some teams want, hey, just being in here is an absolutely incredible feat to make it here, because you mentioned the prize money. Well, yes, $30,000 prize pool here for the Clash of Clans Worlds warm-up. First place taking home $15,000, and it only pays out to the top 3. So you have to try to make it all the way to that. If you make it to the finals, you're guaranteed at least $10,000 for coming in second. And then if you win third place, we 5,000. So there's a lot of money involved here. And these players are putting their best effort. And Queen Walker Stephanie, it's showing here as their defenses are shining through. And maybe they were, because during this war, they had at least a week to prepare for their opponents. As in, if you go to a lower bracket, you didn't know necessarily who you might face in terms of if you win, but looking like their defenses were ready. And now, one of the best air attackers in the world. We've got Stars coming in and not coming in with a lava. Well, is it a mix of a lava? It looks like he's got a lava hound. Okay, so it's probably going to be a blimp. So the hound protects it as he flies his way through with a blizzard. And he's going to make that one air defense invisible. So the hound ignores it, flies across to find some traps, and he sends that blimp into the core of the space.
Wow. This is going to be an interesting one. We've even got 3 bat spells in the mix for this attack. Stars coming in with something that we don't often get to see because, like you mentioned, he is known for his Lalo, switching it up a little bit. And again, I think he's been taking some points from your Creative Masters series and having fun with it. So we still have the multi up, still standing here, is going to need to be taken down, but clears out that entire 430 compartment, giving the queen some nice easement to move in and start her section up towards that 12 o'clock side.
Yeah, I think he wanted to take out that multi-tower Inferno with potential a few wall breakers inside of that blimp. And since he didn't break open the walls there, it's going to be standing up, and that can be a big problem. But I think he's going to send his Royal Champion into that multi-target Inferno there to help take that down, because she could path to that multi, the Tesla, and then the other multi as well. So let's keep our eye on where she goes, and as his heroes are pathing their way to try to secure this town hall now.
I think the only unfortunate thing is there's no invisibility spell to try and help carry that Royal Champ through, but it doesn't look there are too many obstructing defenses that would keep her from that pass in the core of the base that you mentioned. So bringing in the Ice Golem to help tank for this. We've got the King providing extra tank as well, and the Queen just needs to get through the single targeting Inferno, but still fighting against those pops. Pops her ability. We want to start clearing out those defenses, and it's actually the Drag Rider coming in to sneak through to take out the multi here. Interesting.
Yeah, a solo Drag Rider to try to clear that multi-target Inferno, decides to send the Royal Champion to the bottom side of the space. And the Unicorn has gone off to the Dragon Rider. And unfortunately, the Unicorn not able. You know, what a valiant effort there, Unicorn. Trying to keep that Dragon Rider alive. Pops a perfect warded ability, which one Dragon Rider will path its way over towards that multi into the core.
But it looks like the Royal Champ has died down very early through that ability. Queen going down fast, or the King going down fast here as well. That Royal Champion could have helped out quite a bit. Drag Riders are spread out quite wide and thin here, but still have the power to get this done. And with the bats coming in on the back end and very limited splash, just that one Wizard Tower that's already distracted, this is done. Stars has this in the bag, even with only 14 seconds left to go.
And deployed the bats within the last 20 or so seconds and getting the 3 stars still. And that is now 9 stars in 3 attacks. They have been just dominating in this war, and they're just showing their strength on the offensive side and the defensive side as well.
I think they're showing their strength in the way that they're actually approaching bases. I mean, we are seeing non-typical approaches to these bases, like we saw with Gaku, bringing in the wall wrecker to get into the core, not even using it with the King, but bypassing around. And now just they're picking apart bases in a way that we are not seeing most players do this. And it is beyond impressive to see the level of attention that they have with only 8 minutes to actually prepare.
Yeah, it's incredible what the type of attacks they're doing. But the next attack is in for Solino, and we are seeing the Queen charge Lalo, looking to be putting the 3-star on the board. And you hate to say it, but they're looking to put their first 3-star. And as this is the fourth attack for them, that is very tough here. But at this point, They just want to start to get momentum, knowing that they can put the triples and they can take that going into potentially the lower bracket.
And the queen moving along in a nice path to take on this town hall. You know, you need that momentum, like you said. You need the motivation to get into the lower bracket. Know that you can fight your way through, because you don't want to go in just feeling down for where you're at. But with the bases that Queen Walkers has been coming in with, I don't think anybody can take that too offensively and be too downtrodden on it. But beautiful course here for the queen. And just need to continue to wrap her around so we can set our course coming through. But we've got 2 multis in the core that we need to worry about getting taken down, because that does not make for an easy Lalo passing.
Ooh, Queen is going to drop another rage because of these expos. Yep, there's the rage to try to keep the queen up, and the healer's healing her off, and he's looking like he's going to keep the ability intact. No worries there. And right now with the super wall breaker, breaking the wall open to push that king up towards the top and sending the royal champion right in between. Try to path her way to the middle.
Yeah, so these are the multi-sections that we want to see. We've got the invisibility spell to try and keep her alive. The king trying to protect her, but the cannon still focuses on her, launches that Seeking Shield, which gives her that extra regenerative health boost to get enough power to come in for the multis. And it is the invisibility spell that carries her through long enough to take that on, like he knows the power of that royal champion and what he can get out of her. Absolutely perfect coming in from Seleno.
Absolutely incredible right there. Pops that Warden Belly, protects the headhunters, the balloons, the stone slammer. The Tesla farm is off to the left side, but he's got all these balloons moving their way through. But an incredible pathing in. The value from that royal champion to grab 2 Inferno Towers with their ability skipping through. Raises that queen up, and notice the scatter shot is distracted, so he's definitely not going to be popping this queen ability, because if he did, it would cause the scatter shot to reroute and go and target those balloons. So he's keeping that queen ability intact to the very last moment with 30 seconds left. A final free spell, 1 more free spell actually to use after this, and this was a crushing attack. The value he got from his RC was insane right there. What a beautiful attack from Seleno from SpaceStation.
I mean, I'm just chuckling with the 3 freezes at the end that, honestly, with the amount of loons that he had, with the queen ability, with everything he had left over, wasn't even needed. But he is showcasing the power that SpaceStation has behind them. I think they just need some time to warm up today for the warm-ups. That's maybe what it comes down to. And we know Seleno is warmed up and ready to go, at least for the next round. But we still haven't seen what Klaus has in store. We've seen some amazing attacks coming in, a lot of creativity from the Queen Walkers. But does that mean we're going to see something crazy coming in from Klaus today?
Who knows? At this point, it may be that he knows he's got a lead. All they got to do is just put up 2 stars at this point, and they will be winning the war, because they've already started off with the 3 triples to start the war off. And they're going perfect so far. Can they keep pace with that? But Klaus loves to come in with the kind of the atypical army, something that could be crazy. But is that the case here? He's got a handful of freezes with 27 balloons, and he wants that king to go into the bottom side, followed in with that log launcher, and that's going to try to get the value all the way into the middle of the space.
So coming in with a big push. A lot of times when we see this, we often see the Warden coming into play through it. But with the Lalo, I would imagine he wants this Warden to work along, especially with the 27 loons to come in for this push. And we are leaving the Town Hall, of course, open on that back end to have to get through by trying to eliminate the damage. It's very similar to that Sohim style attack where we get through the core of the bases and have to come in on either side. I think that could be interesting to see, a Lalo push coming in from both ends, but bringing in the Royal Champ for the multi and scatter shot section, working alongside the Queen. Nice, smart move to start mitigating a lot of the damage here.
Yeah, with that Royal Champion off to on the enemy RC, taking her down, and there it is. Beautiful job with the single target Inferno locking on the Queen. Her ability goes off. Now she locks on to the Lava Hound, but his Royal Champion got some nice value, and here comes the Lalo, and notice He's going to be ending on the Town Hall with his Lalo, so he's taking a risk which could result in a 1-star if things don't go right.
Oh, you gotta give it to Class. Played a little bit crazy coming in with this Lalo. That Warden ability having to carry this through quite a bit. Hound taking a huge lead here to try and soak up those traps all the way straight to that 12 o'clock side of the base, but the Loons are struggling to pass through. We do have 4 freezes and 2 haste to try and carry it on, but 9 Loons that need to come back in and help surround this.
He's going to have to keep that Town Hall frozen as he's making his way through. There it is. Freeze onto the Air Expo. The Town Hall, he's making his way through. Has the Grand Warden Eternal Tome to protect these Loons. Does it right there. The balloon should get hasted out of the Town Hall. Come on. Come on. Take that down. But did the Warden get locked down, or was that the Owl by the single target? It was the Warden. So the single target inferno might just be too much. Oh, no. Those balloons got picked off from the Town Hall poison there.
Yeah, and these 2 freezes that he could have used to help spare the Warden even with a single. Try and work through, help take the heat off the Expo. Unfortunately, a little bit wasted. And we've got SpaceStation Gaming getting to see their first defense. Now, Queen Walkers know they're in a pretty good position here. But this has got to make SpaceStation Gaming a little bit happy to start seeing that defense coming through at the end.
Yeah, they're happy there, Bernal with the defense, especially against Klaus right there. And the minion grabbing just a little bit more percent, 97. And we have one more attacker coming in from each side for SpaceStation and Queen Walker Stephanie. We already know that Yuta is going to be closing out. We talked about it at the start. Yuta is always the closer for Queen Walker Stephanie in all their wars, pretty much no matter what. It's kind of just a rule, a part of their clan. But what is SpaceStation going to be doing? Is it going to be a Lalo, which we've seen? We've seen Hybrid. We've seen Dragons in this war as well in terms of the Super Dragon from Stadra. So we've seen a mix of things. But one thing we haven't seen, which a lot of players do, is sometimes the Super Bowlers in terms of the unlocking them, because they get some beautiful bounce values. But it's been a little bit since I've seen that, or maybe even some other super troops in the armies.
Yeah, the Super Bowlers, the Super Bowlers match, definitely a nice combination, and tends to be a pretty big go-to for the ground style, particularly with some of the Legend League box style bases that we're seeing that can cut through very nicely. But we do have Pete Castro now as the finisher, and he often takes his position. Oh, coming in nice and fast with the Skelly Donut. Is he going for the triple combination here? We've got the 2 multis. We've got the CC. This is not an easy feat, but he manages to hit all 3 marks in here and get it taken down. Good value.
People that, if you're watching right now, you don't understand how difficult that is. It is absolutely insanely difficult to try to manage, because you drop that invisibility spell 1 tile wrong, and that a whole Skelly Donut goes away, and you make the CC, the multi-invisible, and the whole attack can be over just like that. But now he's sending the king to go get the scatter. Pretends you can have the queen reach the town hall, and the beautiful thing is he doesn't have to worry about a clan castle or multi-target inferno for the Lalo.
Nope, makes this so much easier too for the Sui approach coming in. Eases up the pressure, gives more power for this king to cut across, defend for the queen, take on the surrounding defenses, and give the queen even more opportunity to clean up on the back end. But she's going to cut her way in, get to that town hall, not stray, work for the battle builder hut. I'm a little bit worried about that side cannon, queen. And she's going for a walk, drops the invisibility spell. He needs to get her back in fast. Oh, and
but he can't take the town hall down with, okay. He invests the freeze because that queen would have been taken out by the town hall. There it is. Mortar goes down, and now here's the Lalo over to the top side, or moving straight in towards the Eagle artillery, and has to get through the enemy road champion, the enemy king, and the queen down to the bottom side. There's the warden ability trying to protect through all of these traps.
I think Picasso is just trying to keep us on the edge of our seats. Now, biggest worry here is the position of these air sweepers. We're going to see them ping-ponging loons back and forth, but the Royal Champ cuts across, helps to take them on, one of them on at least, cuts through for the second, and now it's this final freeze that needs to come down for the scatter, helping to push through, but he wants to swag it.
Wow.
Knowing the haste, the power is enough to carry this along, and Pete Castro showing the power that Brazil has coming into this one. Absolutely stunning, despite almost narrowly losing that queen from the start, Carbon.
Wow. Look at that 3-star with the Skelly in the core of the base. The value that he grabbed is incredible. Beautiful attack right there. Didn't have to worry about Inferno Towers in the middle, hitting your balloons, and no CC to come out, because if you mess that up, you don't have a poison spell to take care of the clan castle that would come out and absolutely destroy the raid right there. Beautiful hit. We do have one more final attacker, Yuta, coming in for Queen of Walker Stephanie to try to close out this here. Will he be able to put a triple on the board? What kind of attack is he going to do? Because, you know, his favorite attack is the Queen Charge Lalo.
It is. And, you know, I think at this point, it makes the pressure is so much lessened on him. You know, a safe 2-star, obviously coming in to win this war, make it nice and easy. I would even say relatively, you know, high percent 1-star could do it. So he can take some risks here, but he's not one that often does that. I think he goes for that standard combination, and it is indeed going to be the Queen Charge Lalo that we do get to see. I'll be curious to see the position of the blimp coming in, potentially to take on the Town Hall, perhaps.
Yeah, with 2 rocket loons to use, Yuta does need a 1-star 80%. So if it does result in a 1, it has to be at least an 80% for the tie, 81% for the victory in this war. So that's something to keep your eye on. You never know what might happen, because we have now the CC, the archers coming out from the core, and now the healers being delayed, coming in at a different angle with rocket loons now coming out of the CC. Is he going to use a rage spell there to help take that out? And there's the poison on the super minions. And this queen, she makes her way straight into the core, can grab basically everything of value in the middle, and then he could just Lalo from the bottom side over the eagle and then send a blimp for a Town Hall.
Yeah, this is looking lovely. So we're already actually starting to line up the loon passing here, clearing out. Checking for any traps along the way, get this blimp set and ready to go to move in. And the rocket loon's beautifully used to take on that AD. So Town Hall, all but secured, coming in here with the sneaky goblins to take it down. And like you mentioned, that queen right there in the core taking on a lot of damage, but drops the rage and the invisibility combination to keep her alive, spare that ability to cut through, and takes out the multi and any potential damage to these loons.
And he locks up the victory right there with the 2 stars. What a great job there from Queen of Walker Stephanie. Pops that queen ability to help out take out the Air Expo, the Wizard Tower. The Lalo's moving its way over to the right side into the Tesla farm with the Royal Champion locking on to the enemy queen, taking that down, hasting, freezing, doing everything his way to victory. A beautiful job right here from Yuta and the Queen of Walker Stephanie, pushing them to the next match, the next round, staying up in the upper bracket and sending Space Station to the lower bracket, and now having to compete and stay alive down there for their chance at the $30,000 prize pool. A beautiful hit coming in from Yuta, and it is a 3-star, putting them at a 14-star victory in this war.
They are just giving themselves extra chance now to move in to that top 3 position for some of the big prize in order. $30,000